And you can participate in two ways. One way is soon you'll see these little shamrock cards that you can do a donation and hang the card on the walls here. But the bigger thing is eggs and kegs. If you remember that from before the pandemic, it is held at Springhouse Brewery on March 19th this year, and it's from 10 till 2. So like two seatings, 10 a.m. and noon. And it's $35 donation, and with that green shirt with a leprechaun on it, happy little St. Patrick's Day shirt, breakfast buffet, beer, and there'll be entertainment like Irish dancers there at the Springhouse that day. So definitely get your pass to come and be there. That's always like one of our most fun events, and it's a great donation to a great cause. Okay, let's get started. Child's pose. So toes together, knees open, arms forward and your forehead to your mat. Once you get into your child's pose, just put your attention on your breathing. Let it be whatever it is right now. Become aware of it, where it happens in your body, and if it's fast or short, all the qualities of it. And then once you get a sense of it, then start to put some qualities into it. So start to make your inhale long, about 4 counts, and then hesitate for a beat, like a pause. And then long for 4 counts out. Same robustness and quality for the entire exhale as what you've got for the inhale. And then as well, while you're breathing, notice how your belly expands down toward the floor and comes back up into your body, expanding on the inhale, drawing back up on the exhale, but also how your ribs expand and relax on the sides and in the back. Be really purposeful about creating your breath that way. And then on your next inhale, lift your body up into downward facing dog and continue to build your breath. Once you get into the downward facing dog, you can also set your drishti, your gaze, right now at a back center point on your mat. And then while you're breathing, you can just start exploring the space that you're in. Bend and straighten your knees, shake your head out. And then in your discovery, start setting up your foundation, your hands, your feet, and your core. And then really build your breathing so that your breath has an audible quality. The people around you can share in your breath and share their breath with you. Lengthen your space a little longer than you've already set it up and make it a little wider than it already is. Then take another breath in and a breath out. Look forward and step up to the front of your mat. When you get there, lift up halfway. And then on the exhale, hang down. Set your gaze on your feet. While you're breathing and seeing your feet, you can set up the foundation of your feet with purpose. You can set them wide so that it's a sturdy foundation. You can line the sides of your feet up to the sides of your mat so that your toes point straight forward. While you're hanging here, you could shift forward and backward, side to side in your feet until you set up a foundation that's sturdy and reliable. While you're here, breathe in and breathe out and feel your feet pressing to the floor. Push them down enough in the 4 corners of your feet until you can feel your arches lifting. And then once you've tapped into that quality, on your next breath, push your feet down and then unwind, come rolling up to standing. Lift your gaze, sweep your arms overhead, reach up for the ceiling, and then bring your hands into prayer position and pause for a moment. Set your gaze on one point at the front of the room and set an intention for the practice. Then 3 times we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, reach up for the ceiling. Exhale, fold down to the floor. With an inhale, lift up halfway, then high plank to low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 3 breaths. Inhale and fill your lungs. Exhale and soften. 2 more. Soften on your exhale. And then on this third one, breathe in. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, and fold. Press your feet into the ground, reach for the ceiling, stretch up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway, step or drop to the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Got 3 breaths here. While you're breathing, let your gaze just be soft and easy at the back of your mat. While you're looking back to the back, just see what you see. So one more time, breathe in. On the exhale, bend your knees, step or jump up to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Fold to the floor, exhale. Stand, extended mountain pose. Stretch back, then fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway. Drop into the low plank on your exhale. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Now be purposeful with your breath. Inhale. Long, steady exhale. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last time, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look, and jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain pose. Reach up, stretch back, fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Work with the room with your breath. 2 more. Make sure at home Erin can feel and hear the breathing in this room. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Jump up to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Sit back into your heels. Reach your arms up. Then fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Drop to the low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Warrior 1. Press the back edge of your back foot down. Hands to the floor. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot step. Take a long stride and lunge deep into your front leg and reach. Hands to the floor. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, and breathe. Every time you find that your breath is unsteady, take a sigh and then recreate it from right there. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, fold. Chair pose, sit deep into your heels and reach, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, drop to your low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right side step, warrior 1, reach for the ceiling and go back, hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side step, deep lunge and reach, hands down, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 2 more. Last time, inhale, bend your knees, jump. Halfway lift, forward fold, chair pose. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right foot forward lunge. Stretch the whole left leg up to your left fingertips, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot steps. Reach from your back foot to your fingers, hands to the floor, low push up and empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. You may find you can lengthen your stride again here. Last time, inhale. Bend your knees, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose, reach. Fold. Lift and drop. Up dog. Down dog. Right foot forward, warrior one. Go up and back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side step. Reach up and back. Hands down, chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Now, as you look back at your feet, a lot of times the heels need to open up a little wider, not the toes, just the heels, so that the feet line up and the stretching down the back of your legs is even. Take another breath. On the exhale, bend your knees, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, fold. So last time, chair pose, sit as deep as you can and reach, fold for the floor. Halfway lift, drop to the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right foot forward, lunge, warrior one, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog, left side step. So lunge deep and reach with your elbows, wrists, and fingers, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. So this section of the sequence is to awaken, to bring your breath and your movements together, and then every inch of your skin to wake it up by putting your attention there and breathing as we move. Now raise your right leg into the air behind you. Bend your knee and bring your heel to your hip and turn your hips open to the right. Breathe here through your ribs and stretch. And then flip the pose over until your 2 feet are on the floor and reach up and overhead. You might reach the whole way over and touch the floor in the wheel pose, or stay right here with one arm on the floor. Wherever you are in the spirit of awakening and with your breath, let some part of your body open. Shoulders, ribs, hips. Take another breath here. Then right hand to the mat, face the left side of your mat for side plank pose. Stack your body up. Once you get yourself into a pose, a couple of breaths to just follow the lead of your body and build the pose. Take yourself to the edge of your pose, then stay right there in the edge of the comfort zone of your pose, and just breathe and experience what you're experiencing. One more inhale, chaturanga on your exhale. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left leg into the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip, turn your hips open. I always like to take a moment and just press my left hand down and reach my left knee up so the whole left side of the body is opening and stretching as I breathe. One more breath here, and then flip it over. Breathe and reach. You may easily find you reach the floor. You may just be working to press your right hand into the mat until you can take a tight shoulder and open it up and make a little free space between your shoulder and your neck. One more breath. Side plank. Put your left hand on the mat, face the long right side of your mat, and stack your body up in side plank. One of the more common defaults that I see as I look around the room in a side plank is people folding at the hips a little bit. Can you lengthen the front creases of your hips and pull the pit of your belly into your body? Then turn your attention up to the ceiling and reach for the ceiling. Take one more breath, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and step your right foot forward for crescent lunge. So crescent's the one where you're on the ball of your back foot, arms overhead. So take a little moment to feel what you feel in your feet until you can square yourself up. Feel all 4 corners of your front foot, and from the big toe to the little toe on the floor of your back foot. And once you feel really steady and square, pull yourself up out of your legs and stretch up and stretch back. This whole movement is one of stretching, so lunge deep and reach up high and look up. And then look up and look back. One more breath here. Then hands to prayer position at the center of your chest and twist left elbow to your right knee. Now steady breathing. Activate your back leg, so your back knee straight, your thigh pressing up to the ceiling. See if you can tap into and feel the pressure of your left heel back, and then opposite, the reaching of your chest forward, so your whole body stretching long and then twisting. Half bind or full bind the pose, up to you. Once you get it set up, breathe. Let your whole chest expand, your chest and upper back as you breathe. 2 more here. Stay for the whole last breath. Once it's gone, inhale to crescent lunge and set your gaze on one point in front of you and keep it there. Then open your body to warrior 2. Just keep your gaze settled. Once you start to settle into the shape of the pose, do it by feeling what you feel in your body through your felt sense. Set your feet up at the joints of your knees, your thighs, your hips. Lunge down low. Then work your arms apart from your thumb through your chest to your thumb, a maximum stretch. Keep that. And then tilt, extended side angle. You can reach for the floor and reach for the ceiling and lunge deep. Really a deep lunge, breathe. And then put your attention on your back foot and press it so much into the ground that your right arm can reach forward. From your foot pressing into the mat to your hands reaching, it's like your whole body's pulling in 2 directions. And then just a little bit, turn your chest to the ceiling. Deep lunge for 1 more breath. Hands to the floor, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot forward for crescent lunge. Put your body in the shape, set your gaze, and then start working through your body. Breath by breath, build the pose until you've got yourself in a space where it feels like you've plugged yourself into a socket, like everything's electrified. Deep, deep lunges. Lift your belly and reach up. Lunge a little deeper even, Margaret. Yes, a deeper lunge. And from the deep legs, you can reach up and go back. Look back. Then hands to prayer position and twist. Right elbow to your left knee. Just turn and anchor your elbow. You got it. Now strong back leg. Yep, as I look through the room, everybody firing up your back leg so your back thigh reaches to the ceiling. That's it, Nima. Keep it active. It goes in and it goes out. Then you can open your arms, reach for the floor and reach for the ceiling, or maybe reach your arm around behind your back and bind your hands. Once you get your hands connected, then take the pose from whatever is the core and center of you all the way out to the edges. So that in this pose, for the last few breaths, you've got this sense of from the center expanding out to the periphery. Just work in that space for these last 2 breaths. Whole body expanding. Last breath. Then reach up for the crescent lunge and set your gaze and keep it there. Open your body to warrior 2. Yeah, build the pose by feeling what you feel in your body. Breath by breath. Deep, deep lunge. And then stretch your arms apart and tilt for extended side angle. So you want to deepen your lunge once you tilt. And activate the back foot, the foot on the floor, so you can reach your 2 arms away from you across the room. So whole body stretching apart from foot to hands. And then for the last few breaths, just turn your chest to the ceiling. Deep, deep lunge, belly in, hands to the floor, chaturanga. It's always a good one. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and let a sigh come out. Then take 1 more inhale. On the exhale, bend your knees, jump up to your hands. Halfway lift and fold, chair pose. Sit back, reach your arms high, then bring your hands into prayer position and twist to the right. So bring your left elbow to your right knee. Once you get your elbow settled, take a look at your knees. Your right one might be creeping behind your left knee. Bring your right knee forward and pull your left hip back. Once you've got that balance settled up, see if you can stretch hips back, chest forward. See if you can feel the whole left back side of your rib cage stretching. Then take the pose further. Open your arms, half bind, full bind. Take bird of paradise, side crow pose. Whatever you're taking, we'll do 3 more breaths. And with these breaths, expand your chest and upper back. Any variation. 2 more. That's it. Strong feet. Chair pose. Feet down, reach up. Nice job, Margaret. Forward fold. Open your feet hip width distance and hook your big toes and stretch down. Some of you guys have met Margaret before. Maybe you haven't. She's a very experienced yoga teacher here visiting us from Kenya. She's been here a few times in the past. So hopefully she'll be teaching for us soon and you'll get to take some of her classes. Take another breath here. Let your head just hang down and your shoulders be easy. Then chair pose again. So set it up from your feet. You want really to have a great foundation with your feet. They can be together or apart, but pointing forward. Then hands to prayer. I always think to really reach my hips back and then twist. See if you can avoid the shifting of weight in your knees. Keep them just even. And then build the pose. You can open your arms. Sit a little deeper. Wrap your top arm around behind your back and just let your shoulder open. You might bind the pose, half bind it, take any variation. Take yourself to the edge of the pose for you today. Then 3 more breaths. Let your chest just broaden, Nima. Just like that. 2 more. Last one, chair pose from wherever you are, forward fold. Feet open, hip width distance, stand on your palms for gorilla pose. Lately, what I've loved focusing on in this pose isn't just the stretching of my back or my legs, but it's the opportunity to stand on my palms and soften my hands, to spread the bones apart, to spread the muscles apart, and get this broad handstanding hand. Use your hands now. Take a handstand or take crow pose. You have a choice. Any inversion. Crow pose, the one that's traditionally here, but a great place to practice handstands as well. Pick what you'll be working on. Start to get yourself set up and put into the pose. And then 5 breaths. So handstands. One strong leg in the air, and this leg is pulling and reaching and giving you the balance. And then the other one is just knee right into your chest until you find the middle of the pose. And from the handstand and from the crow pose, you can drop into, oh, Bob, you were right there and you let go of the stretch. Chaturanga for everyone. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a sigh. One more time, inhale. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump to your hands. Half lift and fold. Press your feet into the floor, roll up to standing, and sweep your arms overhead. Right side eagle pose. Wrap your right arm under the left. Wrap your right leg over the left leg. See if you can tuck your toes. And then with your gaze just set on one point, breathe. Feel what you feel in your body as your lungs expand, your rib cage expands and relaxes with your breathing. Keep a steady gaze and just switch sides. Step out on an inhale, build the other side on the exhale. Left arm under, left leg over. Breathe here. You have this opportunity while you're breathing to let the whole of your upper back start to expand and soften. One more breath. And step out. Then hug your right knee into your chest. You might peek down at your standing foot and try to line it up. A lot of us turn our foot out. Ideally, we'd be able to line it up straight forward. Then continue holding your knee or hold your foot with your hand or a strap and extend your leg forward. Once you've got yourself set up, let your body breathe and settle into the pose. Shoulders settle back, thigh bones settle back. Then you can open your leg to the right, look and reach to the left. Breathe here, just lift your chest up. If you're losing your balance, set your gaze and breathe steady. Bring your leg forward and hug your knee into your chest. Then get ready for airplane pose. So open up your chest right from the start. Stand on all 4 corners of your standing foot and press your kicking foot back, like it's pressing and standing on the wall behind you. You can move your shoulders up to the ceiling so your whole chest has the upward dog kind of opening quality to it. Then bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Just push them together. Bring the right side of your body and the left side of your body together. And then steady. And from there, open up to half moon pose. Left arm to the floor, right arm to the ceiling. Breathe here. And just let your chest open up. Maybe bend your top knee with your right hand. Catch your right ankle for sugarcane pose. Once you get your ankle, strong belly, long lower back, open up your chest and breathe 2 more breaths. 1 more. Then sugar canes open up and everyone forward fold and hang. Press your feet into the ground. Come rolling up. Hug your left knee into your chest. Left knee in. Then hold your left foot with your left hand or with your strap. And when you're holding your foot, you get an incredible stretch of your hamstrings. And if you're not holding, you're just no touching, but just kicking, you get a lot of strength in your quad muscles. So you pick for you. Then open your leg to the left, look and reach to the right. Once you get the pose set up that you opened it, let your pose open. So from the middle to your toes and your head and your hands, stretch open. Let the pose then get soft but strong. 1 more breath here. Bring your leg forward, hug your knee into your chest. Open up for airplane pose. Steady gaze, steady breathing. Easy here to kind of let go of your breath, but then you let go of the fuel for every pose. Press your standing foot into the floor. And then once it's pressing, you might notice your arch lifting, your right belly lifting, and your chest lifting. Keep the lift, hands to prayer position, and press your palms together. Open up to half moon, right hand to the ground, left arm to the ceiling. From your center, whatever you know to be your center, all the way out to your toes and fingers, stretch. You'll find the best balance with the stretch. Stay right here in the maximum stretch. Maybe bend your top knee and with your hand, catch your top ankle for sugarcane on this side. Or stay right with the half moon. And now work together and breathe. Just move energy through your body and through the room. Fullest expression, forward fold and hang. Just sway from side to side. Maybe take a sigh, let your head hang down. Then come rolling up to standing and sweep your arms overhead. Right arm behind you, bend your knee, hold your ankle from the inside. Then stretch, knee down and fingers up. So opposite, knee down, fingers up. And then start to stretch, knee back and fingers forward. So you're stretching, pulling your body apart, forward and back. Maybe take a sigh here, and then start to drive 1 foot to the ceiling and 1 foot into the floor. Breathe right there. Let me help you switch your grip here. Feel how your shoulders rolling forward? You want it to do the back. It's such a tricky grip. Feel the difference? Yeah. Wherever you are, 3 more breaths. So press yourself out into the edge of your comfort zone in the pose and take 2 more breaths right here. Last breath. Step out, feet on the floor, hands on your hips. A steady breath and let your whole body settle. Then the left side. Roll your left shoulder back, hold your ankle from the inside, right arm in the air. Set yourself up, a steady gaze, and then start to put the stretch into the pose. You'll notice if any one part of you doesn't stretch very much, the whole thing will be hard to balance. So reach your 2 sets of fingers apart, your 2 feet apart. Breathe. Now take yourself to the edge of your pose. The edge of it for you, right on the edge of falling out, right there where you're not sure about the pose. And stay right there and breathe. 2 more breaths to just soften. Last one, and come on out. Feet on the floor. Let's take tree pose. Stand on your left foot, the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh, and palms together. I always love right now to just get grounded in this pose, to press my big toe down, my big toe into my thigh, and press my palms together. I'm really interested lately in just discovering and being connected to the center line, like all the edges coming into the center, and then from the center, breathing. See if you can see that and notice it in your own body. From the edges into the center, And then from the center, breathing out. Switch sides, right foot down, left foot up. And keep your breath flowing. More than ever, probably here is a place to put some attention on your breathing. And notice how it changes your body on the inhale, from the exhale, from breath to breath. See if you can feel the whole outline of your body expand and relax. One more. Step out and come to the front of your mat. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, low plank. Drop right down into it. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot to the inside of your right hand and then go into triangle. So from right there, step, press your front foot down and anchor it, then open your body to the side. Maybe you can move your feet longer apart. You're looking for this opportunity to feel your whole front leg's inner thigh stretching from your pelvis down to your big toe. See if you can be sure that that's happening for you in your own body. That's it. And so just like Erica's doing at home, she took her block behind her mat now, took her hand behind her mat, and let the upper body open into the back bend. See if that's there for you. 3 more breaths. Always nice to have these last couple of breaths to just expand your body and relax it. 1 more. Come on up to standing. Turn to face the long left side of your mat, feet parallel to the short sides, hands on your hips and lift your chest up high. Then forward fold. Double check that your toes haven't turned out. Keep your feet parallel. Walk your fingertips in front of you. So at first, maybe there's some weight in your fingers, then breathe in. And on the exhale, sink the weight back into your hips and your heels. You'll be able to feel stretching from your fingertips all the way back through to your hips. Once you've got your body pulled apart like that, all there then is to do is to breathe. Breathe and expand your body on the inhale. Soften it on the exhale. On the inhale, there's a sense of carving out more space. And on the exhale, realizing the space. I think sometimes this can, just a simple pose like this, one of the most incredible things to just put some ease all the way down the sides of your body. Without that being open, there are no back bends. Take an inhale, and then exhale through your mouth and soften. 2 more breaths here. 1 more. And then when you're complete, walk your hands back in, hands to your hips, and come up to standing. Face the front of your mat, standing single leg forward fold, or you can take splits. So you need some length, you need some width, and you really want the forward corners of your feet anchored. It can be helpful to pick your toes up. Then pull your right hip back and left hip forward and lift up and fold. You may need to soften your front knee. You may find your back heel lifts up, but stretch your belly and your ribs down your front thigh. You can bring your fingers to the ground and reach them back. Bring your forehead to your front knee. And breathe. You should be able to tap into a lot of stretching in the back of the leg that's in the front. If you haven't practiced for a little while, you'll probably feel it a lot of other places too. I was away for our Himalayan retreat over the last few days, so I mostly taught and didn't practice. And every time I show you something today, I'm like, I can feel that a lot. Twisting triangle. Your left hand can stay on the block or floor under your shoulder. And keep your right hip pulling to the back of your mat, not swinging out to the right. Pull your right hip back and then lengthen and twist. And then more right hip back, left shoulder forward. Yes, breathe and lengthen the whole back left side. Can you feel that? It's a really nice setup you've got here. Take another inhale. Sigh on the exhale and open. Stay here and appreciate this for 2 breaths. Nice. You got 1 more here. Nice. Hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog, and then step your left foot forward for triangle pose. And set it up and breathing. Just keep your breath flowing as you move from pose to pose. easy to kind of fall right out of the rhythm of it and out of your drishti, out of your foundation, or not. You could keep all of those intact and the heat burning in your body and in your practice. Take your left hand behind you if you want to set up the back bend, quality of this side bend. Front big toe, anchor it down, and let your head drop back and your chest open. 2 more breaths here. Last one. Come on up to standing. Face the long right side of your mat. And roll your shoulders back behind you and interlace your hands at your lower back or hold a strap. Then lift your chest up high and forward fold. You can let your hands, your bound hands, spill overhead. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, just let your hands fall to the mat behind you. You might, in this position, even here, start to notice how the whole side of your body is able to lengthen. Your breath will show you areas where now that you put your body in the space of the pose, just the quality of breathing starts to open up your body and make new space. Feel what you feel in your body and the pose, and see if you can notice where you're experiencing new space because of the pose and because of your breath. Then bring your hands to your low back and then your thighs for some support, and come on up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat, hands to your hips and lift up high, then fold over your front leg. You can bring your hands to the ground and walk them forward this time, and stretch. Breathe and let your body open here. Some attention on your front foot's big toe mound, pressing it down, anchoring it into the mat. Another breath. Then twisting triangle, right hand on the block or floor. Set up the length. So Bob, pull this left hip back. Yep, right there. Chest open. Yes, just there. And breathe. Let's pull some weight back into this hip. Yes, and long, right through your right. Yep, right there. It's like a tug of war. You pull your chest away, and I'll pull your hips back. You got it. Keep lengthening your right side. Inhale and make it longer. And twist. Make your back right side longer. Yep, and twist. 2 more breaths here. You got 1 more. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Stretch back, then come to a high plank and lower all the way down to your belly on the mat. Once you're there, I think it's really nice to keep your toes turned under like they are and your legs active so that you don't end up dropping your heels together and squeezing your lower back. Then shoulders roll back and lift up. You don't have to lift high, but see if you can appreciate heels back, crown of the head forward, like the 2 ends of your body are pulling apart. That's it. So if you need to tuck your chin, that's okay, but your whole body pulling long apart. Strong legs, strong feet. 2 more breaths here. You got 1 more, and then come on down. You can bend your knees and sway your feet from side to side. Next, we'll take the floor bow. So keep your knees bent, flex your ankles. Reach back and hold your ankles from the outside. Once you have hold of your ankles, just roll your shoulders back. Let your legs be the strength. Kick them back to the back of your mat, and then drive your feet up to the ceiling. With your ankles flexed, you have this chance to feel the ball of your big toe pressing up as though your feet were standing on the ceiling. Work with your feet. When you're working with your feet, your knees will not open wide. They'll just be straight behind your hips. 1 more breath. Come on down. You can move your feet from side to side. So let's take a second set. Bend your knees and reach back and hold your ankles. Roll your shoulders back. Start with a really strong belly. Gather in your abdominal muscles, then stretch back and lift up. And then see what you see in your body. Breathe and notice whatever there is to notice. Are you noticing stretch? Are you noticing tight spots? Something doesn't feel right. Is there something you can change about that area? Through your breathing and your listening. 2 more. Stay here for 2 more. A full breath, whole chest expanding. Relax down, feet side to side. Then hands on the floor by your bottom ribs. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, lift your chest, come to upward facing dog. Even here, just roll your shoulders again. Strong belly. Shouldn't be any crowding here in your lower back. Another breath. Downward facing dog. Stretch back. From your hands to your hips, take a chance to just stretch your whole body long. Then look forward and jump through your hands and sit down and roll onto your back. Once you're on your back, bridge pose. You bend your knees. Your ankles can be hip width distance and right under your knees. Press down into your feet and lift your hips up. Once your hips are lifted, you can rock your shoulders from side to side and tuck your shoulders under you. Interlace your hands under your body and stretch your elbows long, and then just breathe and let your chest open. Breathe and let your elbows open. Now really press your feet, all four corners of both feet down into the mat, and then don't move your feet. Hug your right knee into your chest. Don't move your left foot. Press your right toes up to the ceiling. That's it. So your right foot to the ceiling, your left foot into the floor. Reach your right foot up 3 times like you're touching a button on the ceiling. Knee into your chest, foot on the floor. And you can come down, move your knees from side to side. Then we'll set up a second bridge. Feet into the mat, lift your hips up. Like any back bend, we need our feet to be a strong foundation and our legs to be strong. No need to really thrust your hips extra high. We just want length from your knees to your chin. Anchor your feet into the floor, then left knee into your chest without moving your right foot. Stretch your toes up to the ceiling. Then by pressing your right foot down, lift your left toes higher 3 times. 1, 2, 3, knee to your chest, foot on the floor, and you can come out of the pose and knees side to side. We'll move on into the wheel poses. We're going to move in and out of the wheel poses kind of quick. So set your body up, get ready for the first wheel. Fingertips to the ceiling, flex your wrists, hands, set them wide and deep under your shoulders. Press down, rise up into the pose. Once you get up into the pose, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Then tuck your chin and come down. Keep your drishti set. Take a breath in here and a breath out. Press down, rise up for the second one. All the way up into the second one. Breathe in and breathe out. Then tuck your chin and come down. Breathe in here and breathe out. Set up the next one and go. Just like that. I'll let you take the next 4 on your own in a calm transition from pose to pose, breath to breath. Go up and take a full breath. Come down and take a full breath. Just like that, up and down 4 more times. Up for a full breath, down for a full breath. Again, up for a full breath, down for a full breath. Keep moving through. As you move like this through your shoulders, the movement through the shoulders starts to like oil the joints, starts to open up your shoulders and your chest. Take on the movements like you're looking to open your shoulders and chest. And when you're finished, Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together, knees open. You can even let your hands just rest on your belly right below your rib cage and breathe just into your hands, just right there below your rib cage where your diaphragm is working. And while you inhale, feel that area of your body expand. And as you exhale, soften. Then hug your knees into your chest. Dead bug pose. So you'll hold the outer edges of your feet and pull your knees back to your shoulders. And then once you get your feet set up, you can rock side to side in happy baby pose. You might start to notice your whole lower back start to soften and open up. Then 2 legs straight up in the air. Bring your fingertips behind your ears and let your elbows drop out wide and curl up. Stay right here curled up and notice a box from hip to hip, rib to rib, and all the space in between that. When you exhale, sink all that down into your spine. Now we're going to breathe and we're going to make a percussive exhale. Every time you exhale, just curl up a little higher. Ready? Breathe in, blow out, and curl up. Just like that. Keep on going. On the blowing out, curl up. No need to unwind and then curl. You're just deepening. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Then 2 legs straight up in the air. Drop your right leg down so it hovers above the floor and double check it. You don't want your toes turning out to the side. They want to point straight up. And again, this box, blow out and anchor it down. Then all we're going to do is switch the legs. Breathe in, on the exhale, switch, and then breathe in. On the exhale, switch, and breathe in. On the exhale, switch. And go like that for 10, 9, 8, 7. Ideally, your body's not rocking side to side. You're able to hold it stable. And while you're doing this, see if you can be aware of your abdominal muscles, putting a leg down and drawing it up, and putting a leg down and drawing it up. Go for 3, 2, 1, and then hug your knees into your chest. We'll take bicycles, so shins parallel to the floor, fingertips behind your ears, and curl up. Then right elbow to your left knee and straighten your right leg. And then switch sides. Again, we want the box to stay stationary as we move up and back. The whole now upper part of your abdominals, curling you and uncurling you. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch your whole body long on the mat. Hug your knees, rock back and forth a few times and come up into boat pose. All the way up into your boat pose. Set your gaze. Once you're up into the boat pose, you can open your arms out wide and breathe in. On the exhale, go down into a low boat by pulling your belly back. Then stay right there, breathe in. On the exhale, come to high boat. That's it. Inhale, exhale, go low. It's always pulling your belly back that moves you. Exhale, come high. Breathe in. Exhale, go low. Stay here, breathe in. Exhale, come high. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, low. Stay. Inhale. Exhale, high. Hug your knees. Rock back and forth a few times and through to downward facing dog. From the downward facing dog, right side pigeon pose. So you'll set yourself up, hands on the floor, right knee in near your right hand on the floor. Open your shin as parallel as you're able to the front of the mat. Walk your left leg back. From above, 2 sides of your pelvis level. You may need to tuck your block under your right hip to maintain that. When you're able to, you can fold forward. You might want to make forearms or 2 fists to rest your head on. And keep your eyes open, a soft gaze just on one point, and breathe. So you have a spot in your body you probably can feel quite a lot in your hip, and that can serve as an anchor for your attention. As we start moving here into this section of the practice and opening poses, we have this chance now to open up into being able to be present without so much moving around. Now out of stillness, physical stillness, an opportunity to still be feeling your breath moving, still feeling your body for whatever it's doing or not doing, and just being right here in the experience of it all. Keep your gaze, put your hands on the floor, and then switch sides. So step back into the downward dog and bring your left leg forward. Just simple movements right into the other side, keeping yourself open, your attention open and aware, minimal movements, breath flowing, aware of your breath moving in and out of your nostrils. Even here as you are in and hold the pose, maybe what you have your attention on is the quality of breath coming in and not having a sense of being cool in your nostrils, to breath moving out and the breath as it moves out being warm. Inhale, a quality of cool. Exhale, a quality of warm. Maybe as you're inhaling, you can feel a quality of drawing your attention up to the bridge of your nose and then back out through your nostrils. And then all the way up to the space between your eyebrows and down through your nostrils. And then breathe in from your nose, up through the bridge of your nose, between your eyebrows to the center of your forehead. And then back down through between your eyebrows and the bridge of your nose and out through your nostrils. Just watch your breath come in and move out. Then sit on your left hip and swing your right leg around for seated leg. So long right leg and bent left leg. Face your long right leg and hinge your chest to your toes. Maybe with your left hand, hold the baby toe side and stretch forward more. You can even take your right hand and wrap it around behind your back. And then just breathe. Put yourself in a space where you can just breathe and release any tension that's left on the whole back side of your body as you breathe. Release anything in your body that seems like you didn't get to it. Release any quality in your physical body of being unwell. And as you breathe, let it be well. While you're here, inhale. Exhale through your mouth and settle into the pose. Soften. And then while you're in the soft space, take one more breath. Switch long left leg, bent right leg. Face your long left leg and hinge. So stretch your whole body through these sides you've been working to lengthen. Keep them long. Then hold the outside of your left foot and draw your chest forward. Left hand behind your back and breathe. Such an incredible, simple pose, but an incredible opportunity to just finish the practice, to let go of anything that might be left. One more breath here, one more sigh. And come on up, 2 legs in front of you. Hold the baby toe feet. You may need soft knees. Long body, so long up through your sides as you hinge. Maybe chin even tucked. And keep lengthening. Whole back side of your leg can stretch. Your lower back can stretch up your sides. Find the spot where your body is working. And then maybe for the last couple breaths, you just round and drop your chin. Roll up to a sitting position. Hands behind you, so it'll be the awkward way where your fingers are pointing to your toes, and roll your shoulders back. Straight legs and your toes pointed. Lift your hips up and squeeze your ankles together and breathe. You can drop your head back and let your whole front of the arm, your biceps, the front of your shoulders stretch. Breathe and expand your chest and upper back. One more time, expand your chest and upper back. And then sit down. Now we're not going to be here long. Fish pose, fingertips under your hips, forearms on the mat. So a lot of times this pose will kind of sink and people will drop their head back. Instead, anchor your hips, stretch your sides long, lift your chest, and stretch your throat. Let your head drop back. So the pose, it's a back bend. Your body stretches long, the chest opens, and your head can just relax. And then here, as you're breathing, put your attention on expanding your chest and upper back. And as you breathe, you can just release any tension that remains across your chest and in your throat. Then tuck your chin and relax down onto your flat back. You can roll your feet overhead for plow pose, or lie on your flat back with your legs straight up in the air in waterfall pose. If you prefer to work on a different inversion, you can do that. I oftentimes don't do that here because I want that big stretch in my upper back and in my neck from taking the plow pose. Once you get to the plow, really set up a good foundation. Shoulders under you, hold on to your lower back. And then if you'd like, you can take your legs in the air for a shoulder stand. When you're in the plow or shoulder stand, there's a natural curve in your cervical spine, your neck, where the curve should go into your neck. It's tempting to really lengthen and flatten the neck out in this pose, but try to keep some ease in the back of your neck so you still have a sense of that curve curving up into your body. And then if you're in the shoulder stand, bring your feet to the floor again toward plow pose, but now this time bend your knees and hug them to the sides of your temples. You'll feel maybe a little crowded in your belly, and yet you'll have this next last incredible sense of really opening your neck, your upper back, all the way actually down through the length of your back. Breathe here. To the best of your abilities, breathe. Invite in and allow for yourself to be rejuvenated. Then palms on the ground behind you, the side where your feet are not. And keep your feet overhead for as long as you can. And one bone at a time, roll your body out of this pose and onto your flat back. Take your time. One bone to the mat at a time. Once you get your whole back on the mat, you can hug your knees into your chest. I always like to even bring my forehead to my knees. Then drop your knees to the left and look to the right. Just a simple twist. And in a simple twist, take a moment and have a sigh here. Because we're moving closer and closer to a deep rest. Let your body be easy. Then come to the center, hug your knees into your chest, and switch sides. Take a sigh on this side. Then on the center, Supta Baddha Konasana. So on your back, soles of your feet together, knees out. This is a great chance, if there's any lifting and crowding in your lower back, to just move the back of your pelvis down toward your feet. To set your shoulder blades under your back. In the studio, you have a cool eye towel to your right or to your left. You're welcome to use that. And then the next pose is Shavasana. Stretch your legs out long and wide. Let your arms be wide and comfortable, palms face up. Once you get your body organized, take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh out through your mouth and let your bones settle to the floor. Now let your breath shift out of your Ujjayi breath into your everyday breathing, but trained now by your yoga breath. Feel your body expand as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out. Allow your body to be easy. Let yourself rest from having anything to do, including anything to think about. Give yourself an opportunity to just be. Take a deep breath in, then exhale through your mouth. Inhale, and this time when you exhale, squeeze your fingers and your toes, maybe roll your head from side to side. Then hug your knees into your chest and roll to your side. Just pause on your side for a moment to experience yourself being breathed. Breath in and your body expands. Breath out and it softens. And keep that and bring yourself up into a sitting position. Sit so that your body is comfortable and you're able to sit tall. Then inhale and sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest and just pause for a moment. Inside yourself, feel what you feel. Just experience what you're experiencing as a result of your practice, where you are right now. And from here, set an intention for the rest of your day. 3 times we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles to the center of your forehead and inhale. Exhale through your mouth. We can all bow to one another and say, Namaste. Thank you all so much. And thank you to Margaret for being here with us from Kenya. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and say hi. Margaret's an amazing yoga teacher. How long have I known you, Margaret? A long time, like 15 years? Yeah, Margaret is a great teacher, so hopefully you'll get to take her class really soon. Thanks for being here. All right, thank you, everybody. Remember Eggs and Kegs. I hope that you'll all be interested and come to that on March 19th. Thanks. Have a great day.